Hey everyone, I'm back working on turbo again. Last time we left off, I was pretty frustrated that the car had broken down. I had to wait a long time for a tow truck, and then the tow company that towed my car ended up actually breaking my lip down here. So you can see it's a slight crack. So I was pretty frustrated, to put it plainly. But off camera, I decided to take everything from the top again, recheck the battery, recheck all the fuses, just to make sure I didn't miss anything, because I know when I'm upset, it's easy to do that. And it turns out I did miss something. If you come over here, fuse AM2 was actually blown. So that's the fuse there. I don't know how good the camera will pick it up. It was blown, and then that's how a good fuse should look like, just for those of you who don't know how it looks. So the plan is right now, I'm gonna throw a new fuse in there, throw the battery back on, and then see if the car will blow the fuse again. I mean, because a fuse doesn't blow for no reason. I mean, is it possible that it was just a bad fuse? Yes, but I think it's more likely that a wire or something short-circuited, and that's what caused this. This is the moment of truth. Put the key in, wiggle it, and hopefully, come on, the pump should turn on. Let's see. Not yet. Okay, that's good. Pump's turning on. Oh man, she's alive! I got the seat back in the car. The car is warmed up, so I'm gonna take this down the road and see if I can blow the fuse again. Side note, I came prepared this time. I have a bunch of spare fuses just in case anything happens, but fingers crossed. I just got back from driving turbo. It was uneventful, everything went smooth. I've already checked the fuse again. There's not a single issue there, which is awesome. All right, in addition, I want to give a shout out to MR2 Squirrel. He is a technician at TCS Motorsports. He sent me a message telling me check the AM2 fuse. I sent him a message back saying I already checked the fuse because I thought I did in my stupor. Turns out he was right, that was the blown fuse, which shouldn't be much of a surprise. That guy knows his stuff. I mean, he works at an MR2 shop after all. The question is now, where do I go from here? One side of me says go through the wiring because there was probably a short somewhere. The other side of me says, screw that, you've put 1,000 miles on this car, do a bolt check and go take it autocrossing. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna do. So how I'm gonna decide that is, over the next few days, I'm gonna do some small cruises with the car. If nothing happens, I'm just gonna send it and take it to an autocross. If it breaks again, then I'm gonna diagnose the wiring, which I was hoping to put off until this coming winter because there's no events going on, so it doesn't impact me and my ability to drive, but I don't know. We're gonna see how it goes. I have driven turbo for a couple days and not a single issue, so I guess it's probably an intermittent wiring issue, but regardless, that means I'm gonna take turbo to an autocross event. I'm fortunate that it's gonna be really simple on this car. I'm gonna recheck the suspension bolts, recheck the seat bolts, and then check fluid levels, and the car should be good to go. I just wanted to show you guys what we had to double check. So we got the end link, we got the bolts for the tow arm, and then we got the bolts for the lower control arm. This one's gonna suck because there's such little room between the CV axle and the bolt. And then we got the bolts for the ball joint. Side note, if you guys have a tip for getting the retainer clip into this, I would really appreciate it, because at some point this was obviously cut and then it was really knackered up, and it's just such a pain to get the clip in there. So yeah, any tips, I would greatly appreciate that. Now that I showed you guys the bolts on the back that I need to double check, we're gonna do that, then we'll hop to the front. Everything went really smooth. All the bolts were still tight, or for the most part they were. I'm trying to think. The only thing I had to tighten was the engine mounts, but I actually did that like a week ago when I was doing other work off camera. So the back end's done. Now I'm going to take you guys to the front, show you the bolts that I have to do, and then we'll get at it. The things we're going to check for the front are pretty similar. We got the ball joint bolt, tie rod. We then got the bolts for the bolts on the other side, or where you tighten it down. The bolt for the little control arm. We got the other one there. We then got the end links, so it should go pretty smooth. We got the bolts tightened down, so the last thing we'll do is check the fluids. Yeah, to start, we got power steering fluid, but the power steering on this car doesn't work, so gonna leave that alone. The brake fluid looks good. Then we got that nasty fluid in the reservoir for the clutch. Yeah, I would like to say, the other day I actually started to make a video about bleeding the clutch, and then I found an issue. I'm going to show that to you guys right now, and if anyone has a solution, let me know, because, well, I'll just show you the issue and then we can go from there. The other day when I tried to bleed the clutch, the dilemma I encountered was I noticed the hard line, as you can see, is actually not being held in place, or it was not. It was just hanging there. I was the one who attached the zip ties, and I obviously know that's not the right way to do it, but I haven't come up with a concrete way to secure it with like a metal retaining clip or anything like that. So if you have any ideas, please let me know. Anyway, I was just waiting to bleed the clutch because I thought I would probably end up having to remove that line to put an attachment on there to secure it. And again, I don't want to bleed the clutch twice because that's a pain. Yeah, one thing that I do think is disappointing is that with all the extra little issues I've encountered with the car, I don't think I'm going to go to the track this year, because September 24th, there is a track day at Oregon Raceway Park that I was hoping to go to, but now that my list is exponentially growing for the things that I have to do to the car, and I don't think I'll have it ready in time, but I do feel comfortable autocrossing it just because the speeds are low and the risk is relatively low as well. Now we can come to the back. I did check the coolant the other day. That stuff is fine. So last thing I have to do is just check the engine oil. I gotta say, putting the dipstick in this car, putting it back in is always a pain in the butt. Let's see where the oil's at though. It is, looks pretty good. Ooh, let's see if we can get this back in. Come on, there you go. It's getting dark outside, so the lighting is bad, but I just gotta say, this car is really starting to come together. The one thing that I will say surprises me the most is that I would have never picked this color of rim for this car, but damn, it really goes together nicely. Man, it's really odd. Just a couple days ago, I wanted to freaking burn this car to the ground, but I got such a love-hate relationship with this car. But I guess that's just how it goes with project cars. Anyhow, hope you guys are enjoying this journey, so to speak. And yeah, you know, if you like it, I'd appreciate a like, you know, comment below, subscribe, and you have a good day.